What's going on, Dolphins fans? It's Connor from the Dolphins Dive, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the most controversial quarterback on the planet. The good, the bad, what I expect the Dolphins to do in the offseason. Before I hop into today's video, it would mean a lot to me if you subscribe to the channel and like the video to help the channel grow. Without further ado, we're going to hop right into today's video, talking about the season that Tua just had. And I think it's going under-noticed in terms of how good Tua played this season. It is the best season we've seen from a Dolphins quarterback since Dan Marino played quarterback, and I don't think that should go unnoticed. There's a lot of people out there, a lot of controversy about Tua. A lot of people want to get rid of him, and I understand part of their point of view. And there's obviously a lot of Tua supporters as well. But as we've seen as Dolphins fans, there's a lot of quarterback play that's just not up to par, and we saw high-level quarterback play this season, in my opinion. And just because Tua is not Patrick Mahomes, I don't think that means you should necessarily be in a rush to get rid of him. That's my own personal opinion. Obviously, Tua led the league in passing yards, although it was a down season in terms of passing yards NFL-wide. A lot of the reason so because of how defenses have been playing offenses with a lot of too high coverages and things of that nature. So in this regular season, Tua threw for 4,624 yards, as mentioned, led the league in passing, 29 touchdowns and 14 interceptions with a QBR, if you guys even care about that, of 60.8, which, once again, I don't really even care about QBR as much as some people, but overall, once again, lots of yards, touchdown interception ratio, something that could be improved, but honestly, it's not a staple in Tua's game. We saw in a couple games of him pressing, but I'm going to get into that later into the video. But the things that Tua did really well this season, he was fully in control of this offense. Like, this offense is extremely complex, the Shanahan system all together, but this offense took a next step in terms of how timing-based it was. There's definitely not an offense in the league that was more timing-based than this one. A lot of throwing to spots, which a lot of people want to attribute that to, oh, it's because Tua has limitations. No, that's a strength of Tua, and that's how this offense was built. One, because of the playmakers. Two, because Tua's good at it. And three, to protect the offensive line. I think the offensive line deserves a huge applause for the performance they played. I think it was 13 different combinations, but it doesn't mean they did that great of a job because of how much this scheme masked their play. Because of how quickly Tua got the ball out, which is the next really big strength of his, is playing on time and getting the ball out extremely fast to protect the offensive line play and himself. Obviously, the longer you hold the ball, the more likely you are to get smacked. And as much as it is a strength, there are times, too, where Tua got rid of the ball too quickly, and it's hard to draw the line. That's more of something you need to ask somebody in the room that understands the progressions, because if you're throwing to somebody that's open, not wide open, that's a good read, right? But then if there's someone streaking down the sideline wide open, how do you balance of playing through your progressions of throwing to someone open when there's someone wide open? It's something that we saw on tape a couple times. But once again, you don't go broke taking a profit, and if it's the first progression and it's open, you're supposed to take it, and that's how you play quarterback. So just interesting dynamics of how quickly he got the ball out, and there were some instances of people flying open, but I think he played extremely well in timing, in rhythm, very accurate. A lot of noise about how he can't throw the ball deep. I think he shut down those narratives this entire season. Plenty of deep balls that were, yeah, maybe they were only 50 yards, but if he's on opposite hash strung to the field, like, that's a hard, difficult throw that takes arm strength, and he showed that. Obviously, a lot of noise about his lack of mobility, but there were multiple instances where he was able to create plays. Now, is that something that I think he needs to improve on still? Absolutely, and I think maybe he does that in the offseason. So I think, once again, that's where Tua really did a great job this season, being in control of this offense, being accurate, playing on time and in rhythm, and just really being the leader of the offense. Now, things that he can improve on, because, once again, Tua is not perfect, although I think he played very well. There are definitely moments that he was pressing, whether it was the team was on the verge of kind of going down big and him making it worse by pressing, forcing throws into coverage. I forget where the clip is where he was talking about Tua and saying, you're the best where you don't know when you don't know where you're going with the ball, and kind of just letting the progression happen instead of kind of knowing the coverage and just kind of predetermining it, which is understandable too in the NFL. But things like that, I think he pressed on multiple occasions, and maybe part participated in why the game kind of spiraled out of control. Once again, not all on him, but part of the reason, maybe him pressing, throwing an interception, and just compounding those mistakes. It happened on occasion. I do think he did a better job on the back half of the season, but it was still something that showed up. Part of the reason for that many interceptions. But once again, that has not been a staple in Tua's game. If anything, there's been times in Tua's game where he's been overly conservative. So good quarterbacks are going to throw interceptions. Obviously, you'd like to see that number a little lower, but overall, I don't think it was as bad of an interception issue as some may paint it out to be, and I think it got better as the season went on, which is what you want to see. And then the last note is to run a little more often, especially as you saw towards the end of the season, a lot of more man coverage because we barely had Waddle and Tyreek on the field at the same time, which limited our ability to have success against man coverage. And a good way to beat man coverage when all the DB's backs are to you is to run. Obviously, Tua is not the most athletic guy, and a lot of people want to hate on him because he can't run like Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. Well, news alert, there's only two guys that can do that. They're one-on-ones in terms of that nature of running. Obviously, everyone has their mobility at different levels. And Tua has it in his game, but he didn't necessarily show it as much. A lot of people will speculate that's because he was trying to stay healthy, but something that definitely could be used more, and he can maybe get more agile. I know there's a big talk of he put on more muscle to stay healthy rather than kind of being more lean and mobile. And I heard him even say like he preferred to be lighter, but obviously having to bulk up to stay healthy was a thing. So I think he had a lot of good, and there was some bad. I think the good outweighed the bad. I think he played at a top 10 quarterback level, which is what you want as a franchise quarterback. Like, there's only one Patrick Mahomes, like, there's only one best quarterback in the league. I'm not saying Tua is not the best quarterback in the league, but he plays well enough to win you most games. He's a franchise quarterback in my eyes because game in, game out, he gives you a chance to compete at the highest level and win games. And he has moments where he can take over games. I think people like to negate that, but he has. I mean, think about Baltimore 2 years ago, or not 2 years ago, but last season. Even the Dallas game, he played really well. It's not just about stat lines. It's about how he controls the offense because that's what the quarterbacks are in charge of. So what I think the Miami Dolphins are going to do, I think it's going to happen. There's going to be a Ian Rappaport tweet that comes out within the next month or two where just Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa agree to an extension somewhere in the name of 4 years, $160-70 million. It's gonna send all of Twitter into a frenzy, but it's what's going to happen. For the short term, that actually frees up money for the Miami Dolphins because they can push some of that into the future, free up some cap space to, who knows, maybe bring in more offensive linemen, maybe keep with Christian Wilkins, but it will free up cap space in the short term so he's not playing on his fifth-year option. And the thing is, when you don't have a quarterback in this league, you are going to struggle. We see it year in, year out. Tua provides a stable top 10, 12 quarterback play, which is what you need in this league to succeed. He's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's Tua, and he's good enough to win in this league. I fully believe that. I think the Dolphins believe that, and that's why he's going to get extended in this offseason. Once again, it frees up cap space, keeps a quarterback under wraps for the long term, which, once again, you need one to succeed. Comment your thoughts down below. What do you think of Tua? Do you want the Dolphins to keep him? Do you want the Dolphins to get rid of him? I understand why some people might want to get rid of him. They want the best quarterback in the league, and I get that. I just don't think it's as easy as some think, and I think Tua is a damn good quarterback, and that's not something that you should just run out of town. That's my take on it. Comment your thoughts down below. Appreciate you guys for watching. Regardless of your opinion, I love this discussion. We're all Dolphins fans at the end of the day. Like and subscribe to help the channel grow, and until next time, I'll catch y'all. Fins up.